Well, Walter and I, we joined B'nai B'rith in 1958, and we were totally indoctrinated with the ideals of B'nai B'rith. Now, the president at the time we joined Einstein Lodge and Chapter, and the president at the time was Charles Berg, if anybody remembers his name. He was an accountant. Anyway, he sent Walter over to Montefiore Home in Hunters Hill to ask them if there was anything we could do for them, because the lodge was looking for a project. So Walter was visiting Mr. Nagel, the superintendent, and he said, yes, well, the idea, they had 42 residents at the time, and they said, yes, it would be nice if the residents received something at Rosh Hashanah, like a handkerchief or a talcum powder or what, and at Pesach the same thing. So Walter came back, and yes, the program took off for 42 residents, and Rosh Hashanah and Pesach, these parcels were there. And here in my living room, we laid out all the boxes, around and dropped things in for them. Now, the number of residents grew to about 200 residents, and it became too costly for the lodge to... So they asked the other two lodges to join in, and it became a combined benevolent job. Now, eventually the Montefiore Home said, look, there's no need for you to continue this because we're supplying our residents, blah, blah, blah. However, B'nai B'rith had a list from the Sydney Welfare Society of people which was on our list for delivery at Rosh Hashanah and Pesach for food parcels. So that has continued up until today. And now I think in modern times, I'm still delivering those parcels, damn heavy if you don't mind me saying, but twice a year. It's run by Aviv Lodge and Chapter, by the way. We buy the goods, we pack the parcels, and we deliver them. And these days the cost is shared by Jewish Care. But that program started way back in 1959 here in my living room. Well, I feel deeply about all my experiences in B'nai B'rith, and I've enjoyed it. I was a president at a very young age, and at 1962, so I was very young, and it was unusual for a young woman to be a president of a women's chapter. Now, while I was president, my group were very keen people too, and we decided to have a jumble sale. And we hired rooms in the Paddington Town Hall, and my people were so enthusiastic about collecting things and packing things and schlepping backwards and forwards, and we had a wonderful day at the Paddington Town Hall. Now that's back in 1962, and we made £100, which was an enormous amount at the time, etc. Now, after that, there were two other lodges and chapters, Sydney and Sir John Monash. They also started having jumble sales, very lucrative. That's how we learned about dealers. We knew neatly to dealers, because they would buy volume at any price. Now, by 1977, the other clever people decided, why have jumble sales? Why don't we have our own shop? And that was the birth of the B'nai B'rith Bargain Bazaar in 1977. Now, as time marched on, business was very good, very good. And rooms became available across the road, which were older but bigger. So we moved across the road. And by that time, I was elected chairman of the B'nai B'rith Bargain Bazaar. This was, 10 years later. Now, in that shop, we also prospered and did very well, and we were making donations on behalf of B'nai B'rith to JCA and JNF and the UIA, etc., on behalf of B'nai B'rith. All came out of that shop.